How to make a travel video completely from the beginning till the end. I'm going to explain you everything, how I make my travel videos. What do I take with me when I go filming? What materials do I use? How do I film my shots? How to import and edit in your editing software? Add some music and learn to color grade. And finally, share your video to a social media channel. So stay with me for the full walkthrough so you can make your own travel video soon. Making your own travel video can be a long process, but I'm going to share all the tips with you. Now we're going through different sections, but to make it easy for you, I left some sections in the description below. So if you want to see a part of a section again, just click on the link in the description and you will get right through it again. But before we go on, please subscribe, hit all the bells and the whistles, and please leave a comment below with what the reason is that you want to make a travel video. First of all, a backpack. I never leave without it. And of course for filming, my Sony a7 Mark III. For stabilized footage, the Zhiyun crane, extra batteries, always take a cute little box with extra memory cards, and of course a shiny box with an ND filter. Take a phone for filming in case your camera dies, and a mini gimbal for your smartphone. And never without drinks, because I will get thirsty. Of course you don't need all these materials to start filming. It took me quite a few years to get this all together. Dive into the menus of your devices so you know all the settings and you know exactly what your equipment can and cannot do. But of course you have some basic settings that you need to set before you go filming. Personally, I like to edit all my footage in 25 frames per second. The filming I do in 50 frames per second, that is because if I like to slow down, everything will still stay smooth. The best thing is that you choose one frame rate for all your devices and stay in the same frame rate. 25 is the frame rate that's also used in movies. Actually it's 24 point something, but it's nice to have cinematic footage. Using a DSLR, a GoPro or just a phone, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is that you have the right settings. The best thing you can do is first experiment a little bit with the frame rates and see what works the best for you. It is possible that you prefer the 30 frames per second, or you want to go even higher to 60 frames per second. Now once you have decided on what frame rate you want to shoot, you have to set up the shutter speed. The shutter speed has to be always the double of the frame rate. So if you're filming in 50 frames per second, you have to double it up and set the shutter speed to 100. If you decide to go on 25, set it to 50. If you decide to go on 60, set it to 120. So always the double of your frame rate. Here we are out in the forest, and first I want to go over something that people are doing when they are filming. Regularly they are standing in a place and they just looking around with the camera like they would do when they are just watching around. And the result is that you get images like this, not really usable. What I prefer to do is to take shorter shots like this, where you can see if you slow it down in post-production and you do some stabilization, you get more cinematic footage. Even if you use a gimbal or you have a camera that has inbuilt stabilization, when you walk around you will have a shaky footage like you see here. You really see the movements going up and down. So when you are walking towards something, try to walk more stabilized too. Try to avoid film from regular positions. When you are walking just straight and have the camera on eye position, you will just have shots like everybody else will have. A way to change perspective is to move your camera completely up using a gimbal or a stick, or film really close to the ground. Used a lot is the push in or the pull out, where you move the camera slowly to an object or pull it slowly away. A pedestal is slowly moving up or slowly down. This is combined with a shift focus, where you shift the focus from one object to another one. Then you have the single sideways movements. Try to have one continuous movement without changing. The reveal shot is a push in where you reveal something, or you can do it the other way around too, of course. A tilt movement is where you slowly tilt your camera up to an object. Combined with a push in gives a complete different effect. Instead of using a panning where you are the center of an object, you also can have the object centered, where you move around the object. And if it's possible, try to make some shots filming the sky. A few important things. If you're going out in a sunny day, try to use an ND filter if you're using a device something like this, because an ND filter is something like sunglasses for your camera. So in bright light it will make a lot of better footage for you. We are back home, and the first thing that I do when I come home is to make sure that I save all my footage from my SD card. I'm not going to explain everything exactly how I do this, but I want to share already with you the following here is that you see here, this is my hard drive especially for editing. It's an SD drive, so it's a little bit faster. What I have here is always a basic map that I copy all the time. So in this map I have the basic settings from my program. I like to use Final Cut Pro. If you decide to work on a different system, that's no problem, of course. Personally, I like this a lot, but there are people who prefer Adobe Premiere. Of course, these are paying programs, but if you prefer, you can also of course go for a non-paying program like DaVinci Resolve. It's completely free. I think they have a paid version too, but with that program you already have a lot that you can edit with. Now for this in particular, I always have this map. I will copy it and rename it. I call this one Walk in the Forest because we were in the forest, to keep it easy now, just for the purpose of this video. Now what I want to show you is that in every folder I have subfolders. I have assets, footage and projects. Now under assets, I have again 3 subfolders where I have my special effects. It's for small effects, music effects or things like this. I have my intro. There is the intro I'm using every time for my the beginning of my videos. And then we have music. There is where I will put my music. Next we have the map called footage. Here we have again a few subfolders. Here I will put all the footage I recorded during my trip. So we have computer. If I do screen recordings like I'm doing now, I will put it here on the computer. If I use a dash cam, I put it there. Drone shots, the DSLR, that's what we used mainly today. So that will go under this folder. If I use the GoPro or I use iPhone, I will put it there. Or if I made photos, I will put it under this map. So I have everything really structured, and when I need something, I know where to find it. Next we have projects. Here is where my project is in. Okay, we're going to close this. I already opened everything here. Of course we have here the basic template. When I double click it will be opened, and you can see already it has here the you see here is the intro already. I have here already some titles that are ready, some extra elements for text. I have here the subscribe button, and yeah, now it's here connected here. This is the subscribe, and here is the outro for my videos. Before I start importing the clips here on the timeline, you have to import them. So for importing, it's really easy. You go to the correct map. We go to the walk in the forest footage. Of course, I did everything with DSLR, and the only thing I'm going to do now is select all the files, import selected, and they will be added here on top. As you can see here, it is rendering now. It takes some time, so we're going to leave it now because it will be faster for working if everything is rendered already. It's not so much footage, so it won't take too much time. So what I usually do is just start playing the footage and see what parts I can use. I will fast forward a few times so this process will be speeded up, but let's check out the first one first. So we have here zoom in. Now I set the marker in here, so this is where I'm going to start. I'm going to play and have it till here. Then I press the O button, marker out. So you see I have a short clip selected right here. Now I have to watch here that my playhead is at the right space. Next, what we're going to do is hit W, and this part of the clip will now be inserted here, and the playhead will be moved till the end. So from this moment on, I go look for extra shots. Let's see, here we have a nice one too. We just play this one, find a short clip, and here marker in, marker out, and add it to the timeline. Pressing I, pressing O, W. So marker in is I, marker out is O, W, attach it to the timeline, and we move on for our next clip. Yeah, we're going to see here, marking in, and till here, marker out. Now I'm just doing it roughly because it's always possible to edit again later. Probably we're going to do that anyway. So you see we have a straight movement here, and here I changed my movement, so we cannot use that. You have to go in a straight line. Here we start, and right before I turn, this is the end. Next one. A low to the ground shot is something that's always interesting. Take that one. Okay, we are at the lake. We have a shot here coming to the lake, going up. Here I am moving to the side, so it's not usable anymore. We take just this short shot and we move on to the next one. Now remember, I tried this one a few times, so we're going to see which one is the best. Okay, let's try this one already. Start here. We see here a little bit shaky, so we're going to stop here. We are at the bird watching house, and we're going to push the camera through the window. So I'm going to start right when I start moving. Go right through and end up here, attached to the timeline. Okay, we have the shot walking down the road. Going to start here. It's like we are walking over there. Just a short shot. Now look from the side when we're walking down this road. And we have a piece of Julia walking, just a short part. And we take a small part of Julia, not from her feet, she's walking too. Just a small part. Okay, move on to the next. So now I got all my clips all together. I'm going to move down this window a little bit, because we want to see all the clips we have right now. So we have our clips ready. We have about 40 clips to play with. Probably we're not going to use them all. But first, because yeah, this video is not with audio, I want to do it with music. So I'm going to lower the audio of the first one. Then I hit the copy. And of course, I'm going to select all of my files and paste the volume correction to all of them, so I don't have any interference of any noise we made during this trip. We have all clips ready now. The first thing I want to do now is to color correct each of them. This is the moment when you get your color correction tool. Now I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. We start first with the contrast, the highlights and the shadows. And you see here already you have your 0 and you have your 100. Meaning like 0 is black, 100 is white. So it has no use if you see here this picture is not completely black. So the blacks are a little above the 0 and the whites are just at the 100 mark. You can see here the whites and you can this part is this. So going from left to right is the same as going from here left to right. So the curves you see here is especially from this side. You see here the darks, that's saying that's you can see that here. And the trick is now to move this to the 0 and have the top of this graph to the 100. Now you see here we are already to 100, so I'm not going to use contrast here. I'm going to use the color wheels to correct. Let's start with the shadows. I'm going to move it a little bit down and you can see the picture's already a little bit better. We're moving to the next clip. Here again you see the shadows. Move it a little bit down until they are here. Move to the next clip. Now here you can see we have we are not completely to the 100 and not completely to here. It's going to move the contrast. Now at this moment I'm using my Loupedeck CT and you see exactly what happens if you move the contrast. It automatically will lower the shadow and move the highlights at the same time. And at the same time you see here the curve going up. Now from the moment it hits the bottom, I will stop with my contrast because it's adjusted already. And the only thing I will do later is just correct the highlights and move it up here. As you can see, this is too high. Go a little bit down again till it's here. And we move to the next one. Here you see we have to bring down the shadows. That's too much. Move down the shadows a little bit. More highlights. That's not highlights. I'm going to do the rest of the clips later. Now let's take a step back. Now you got your maximum and minimum points, but maybe this picture is a little bit too dark for you. What you can do is you can adjust the brightness of a picture with the midtones. And I like to see a little bit the midtones as making like a clip brighter or darker. And you can see what happens if we move the midtones. So you see that the highlights will stay more or less to the maximum and the shadows will stay more or less to the minimum, even while I am moving my midtones. Here you can see changing the midtones, but I liked it how it was, more or less like this, a little bit extra maybe, and we just leave it like that. So you have your shadows, highlights, again, the bottom, the top, and the midtones to bump this part a little bit up. So it's not only about this waveform you see here. The waveform is helping a lot to see if you need to go a little bit lower or higher. It can help you also a little bit with the midtones, but at the end I prefer to look at the picture itself to see if I need more midtones, and even sometimes I like to bump my highlights above the 100 or even my shadows below 0, but it depends a little bit on what clip you are editing and what effect you want to have. So this is more a guideline, but at the end you are the artist and it's all up to you how you prefer your clips. I'm not going through the whole process of each clip with you because it's going to take too long, but there are a few more I would like to do with you. It's like here with the swans again. So we lower here the shadows. You see here a little bit brighter. You can see here the curve. So sometimes you need to bring the curve here because here you have a little bit the shiny reflections probably from the water here. So it can be a little bit overexposed in my opinion. If we adjust the mids a little bit, maybe just a little bit, let's see the difference with before and after. Before and after. Here's another one that's quite dark. We're going to adjust this one too. Let's bring down the shadows, bring up the highlights. You see here this peak here, bump it right until the top. And this one I prefer to have a little bit brighter, so I bump up my midtones here a little bit until I think, yeah, maybe something like this. You can see also on the curves here they're a little bit more up. They're not some people prefer to have it more like this, but I think it doesn't have to be always in the middle. Next part, yeah, I'm going over all these clips later. I'm not going to do each clip now, but let's do some color correcting. Is bring out the vectorscope, because on the vectorscope you can see if there is some colors bumping out too much. Now in autumn the colors are more soft, it's not as greenish, because you have to watch out always with the greenish colors and the red colors in my opinion, because they can make a picture more unnatural. Next what I'm going to do is my saturation. I'm going to bump it up. Here you see the saturation, and if I go too far, this is completely maximum. You see already this green is a little bit too much and this red is too much, just like I said before. So I'm going to take it down again, and yeah, I think I like it like here. Now I quickly will show you if you want to bump certain colors. So I have now here my basic settings that I'm using for color correction. If I want, I can add an extra color grading. It can be interesting sometimes to have the blues here more bumped up. So if you would like to do that, what I usually do, I take the dripper tool, click on the color you want to change, and then you bump it up, and you can already see it's more of a bluish here right now. Maybe we can bump here up a little bit too. So yeah, we have to go really extreme here because there's not a lot of blue. Maybe this would not be the best example yet, but if we take it off, you can see this is before and this is after. You can see a more blue shine to the water. But you have to watch out because every shot you take, of course, is different, and the blue will be more pronounced in one shot than in the other. So it's not like you can just copy paste until everything. Now let's take this clip for example and see what we can make of that. So I didn't correct this one yet. I will go to only this waveform, lower the shadows a little bit and bump up the highlights. I'm going slightly across it here, but I think it's going to be okay like that. And here what happens if I bump up the saturation? You can see the saturation. Now you can see it's more vivid now. It's a lot better. Before, after, before, after. Let's try to add some extra saturation curves and do the same thing with the blue. And let's see, because we have more blue here, and let's see what happens. You can see the blue is more pronounced in the overall clip. So as you can see here I play it a little bit, it has a complete different view. And let's take a look at that without the effects and with the corrections. Now I quickly went through all the clips, all are color corrected for the basics, and I applied some saturation on all. I did not do any specific color correction yet, but there is one clip I want to show you where I had made a small mistake during filming and I didn't have my white balance completely correct. Now if you compare here this short clip, you see how the blue and the red and the green are, but especially the blue, you can see it's more like a coldish blue. Now if I go to the next clip, you can see how the blue is completely different. So obviously I had a mistake with my white balance here, but there's a tip how to correct it. You have here temperature, and if you adjust the temperature, move it down, you can make it more cold and make it more the same like with this clip. So if we compare now the two clips, they're almost the same. I think it even can be a little bit more, not too much. And here it's almost the same. Okay, let's start with some music right now. For all my clips I'm using the service called Epidemic Sound. Yeah, they tend to have really a lot of different styles of music, and that is something I really like. Now for this clip, yeah, I still want something more positive because autumn is already like it can be a little bit depressing maybe for some people, but I like a little bit more up-tempo. Now the good thing about Epidemic Sound is that you have a huge library, so you can look at genre, you can look for a mood, or you just if you know somebody, you can check in the albums. Now if you go to genre, you directly can go in a particular style. If you say, yeah, I want something more with beats, no problem. You have some subcategories, and you can say, yeah, I want more dreamy, laid back, hopeful, yeah, it's just or yeah, let's say sentimental, but you can add even more. You say, I want even more peaceful, and you get here some proposals from Epidemic Sound. Now if you say, I want, instead of a genre, you go directly to a mood. You say, yeah, I want to have something epic, and here again you have the subcategories and you can start listening to all of them. The service is with a monthly subscription. Yeah, you have 1 month of free trial. I would say just try it out. I use it for all my videos, so I really can recommend it. You can find the link in the description below. You also have your personal page where you can put all your favorites. I already found one here that I'm going to use, Tropical Storm from Caspi and Cacti, but it's really easy. If you select it, you can pre-listen it here how it is. You can download the stems if you want, or find similar, and then next you just click download. You say okay, download full mix, and everything goes automatically. It's downloaded automatically, and now I'm going back into my map because I have to place the MP3 at the right location. So back I go to my map, my assets, and go to music, and here is the place where I want to add this song. Just drop the file here and it's in the right position. Of course you have to import it then into your program in Final Cut Pro. So just we click import, the one you want to import, and click import. And next you're going to see, make this a little bit bigger, you have your song here. Next we're going to just drag and drop on the timeline, and like this we have the music ready. We have the music here now down on the timeline. If you listen to the beginning, it has like whoosh in the beginning, and the blast, or the moment where the first kick hits in, that is the moment where you want your first clip to start. So you have to zoom in, and if you look very carefully, you see here the swoosh coming in, and here you can see actually the real first kick or beat. That's the moment where it starts. So what we're going to do for starting is this first kick, to align it with the first clip, because this is the intro, and just after the intro you want this to hit right on this mark. So we align this one here, and if you listen now, you see it's right at the, just at the right moment. Of course we're not going to start with the mushroom in the beginning. Maybe we can start here with that we are walking here. So we're going to move this to the beginning, and we're going to rearrange everything so we have a smooth storyline. The storyline I want to follow here is just we coming to the forest and making a nice walk, nothing spectacular. So a good start would maybe be where you can see here we're walking down the road, and to use that as a starting point. We're going to move this completely to the beginning. The question is, of course, where we have to cut and where do we have to start the new clip every time. For this you have to listen carefully to the music. If you're using an upbeat tempo like this, you want to focus on 2 to 3 seconds per clip, usually not higher than that. If you want to have a fast pace in your video, you should not go over that. If we start here, we are at 12 seconds and the end is 17 seconds, so it's already really long. Now for the first clip it can maybe be a little bit longer, but we're going to see where we will get. Now if you listen carefully, now we have to go a little bit into the music. When you listen to the music, it's 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, stop. So that's 2 bars, and for a beginning that would be just about right. So what we're going to do is zoom in a little bit here to see where actually the next beat is. That's right here. Now if you zoom in, you can see here, because there is no real kick here, it will be a little bit harder, but with a lot of practice it will be easier to find. So we are going to cut right here, remove it, and if we play it again, 1 2 3 4, and it's the next one. Now walking the front, side, Now if we count again, I would like to have the same again. So again 2 bars or 8 beats in total. But you see, we will not make it because we have to get it to here. What we can do here is to slow this clip down. We just go slow 50%, and you see already I don't have to listen anymore because I already know where it's going to be, because this is the next one. I zoom in a little bit, I take my and then I cut right here and remove this part, and I know to keep some tempo. I'm not going to repeat this now. I will just take 1 bar or just 4 steps or 4 beats. So we're going to count again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and here I'm going to cut again. So we have a shorter one here. This next clip, I would prefer to have this on the next big beat. So what we're going to do is first move this clip to here, and we're going to do a short 1 bar clip here too. Now we're going to take this one. We have walking here, 2, 3, 4. We cut that one here. Remove. And here we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and here we want the next one. Cut, remove, and here we have some footage of Julia. But I would like to have this a little bit longer, so we're going to have a slow motion here too, 50%, and we're going to see how it looks. Going to cut it here. Here we cut one again. You see already we have 2 bars, 2 bars, 1 bar, 1 bar, 2 bar, 2 bar, and we go for a 2 bar again. One important thing to do is, I know this song already, and I'm not going to play the whole song for you, but I know there is an intro, there is some build-up here. At a certain moment, the music really starts. Now, when the music really starts, I want to have some action or to have some quicker movements in the video. That's why I have to also have more like an intro with the footage, and then the build-up also, it's like we're coming somewhere, and then once the music really starts, I want to have a faster pace with everything. I will quickly do some build-up, I will cut and paste some things, and I will take you from there. So I took this clip from somewhere else because I need some fill, but you see here it's also going too fast. Here again we do the slow down. Because we just want a short clip, we cut it here, delete, go to the next one. Cut. I'm going to move that one here. No, that one is better. I'll do a short one again. You see now with the intro, I never do exactly the same because if you are repeating every time, it's going to be boring for anybody who is watching your video. So here you see we using the 2 bars, 2 bars, 1 bar, 1 bar, again 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2. See, it's every time a little bit different. Now, from the moment the music really starts, we want to speed things up. That's why I want to look now for fast moving clips. We're not going to focus too much on in what particular order the clips are, but what I want to do is now to have a faster pace. So what I want to do now is speed it up, and instead of using the 1 bar, we're going to use a half bar or just 2 beats. You see that's 1, 2, and on the third. That's right here. Cut. Listen again. And again, repeat, move it away. Again, listening to the music. I think I made a small mistake here. I have to move this a little bit. A half bar, full bar. So 2 beats, and 4 beats. Now here we have 2 of the same images, so I'm going to remove 1. What I like to do here is again go for full bar. So what I did now is half, half, full, 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 and a small one, and here a longer one again. So it's breaking up the pattern a little bit, but by doing these small changes and still staying on the beat, you will surprise people and keep them more interested. So don't do every time the same. Try to experiment a little bit on where you can cut and where you can place a new clip. Now if I listen here, now I have here 4 beats and the clip is way too long. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a custom speed. So I want to speed it up. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to speed it up until just the right marker. Now I have to make sure that I am at the right. You see here is the next kick, so I'm going to move this a little here. And now I speeded up this clip where I do the reveal of the tree, or where I do the tilt of the tree. See, and you have a nice speeding up. Now here, this clip is way too long. What I want to do is to cut it up a little bit. Go here, like a step in, and let's see. Let's see how that is with the music. Now we're here at the end, and we have the lake at the end and where the beat stops. Now the song is going longer, but I'm going to listen. I'm gonna cut the song away here. I'm going to apply quickly some a fade out, so the music slowly fades out at the beginning. And we're going to put the end here, and I have the subscribe button here in the video. Now quickly we're going over the video to see if there are any mistakes in the timing. So we have our movie ready, and now we want to export it. And we make sure we export to the right format, and in this case we're going to use .mov. You're going to export the file, hit next, where you want it, right there. What you then have to do is to check the complete video if there are no mistakes, of course, and then of course it is time to upload your video. Okay, we made it. Now it's up to you to make your video and use the tips I gave you. If you just follow the tips from beginning till the end, I'm sure you can do this too. And that was it. Easy, no? It was a lot that we covered, but now you know every step I am making to make my videos. There are a lot more, of course. You can fine-tune your video, you can do more color correction, you can even make special transitions. There's a lot more that you can do. But now we got the real basics on how to edit your video and how to make it. So I hope you liked it, and if you do, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe, ring the bells and whistles, don't forget. And before you watch the finished clip, I want to thank you all for the big support I already got on this channel, and I'm really looking forward to make more videos for you. So see you on the next video.
I hold on to this storm cause I need to be swept away, swept away. I'm cornered in the cold where you left me, left again, left again. Oh.